We arrived at the party. Let's be honest, we arrived first at the party.
Very much so.
It's a really horrible one. Wasn't that an awkward moment? Because you know when you're at home, not when you're at home, but if you're listening at home, you know when you get to a party, you're quite excited and there's no one there, and you're dressed in a tuxedo, and you find yourself going, "Well, this is a prank, isn't it? This is just going to be us." We toyed with the idea. John toyed with the idea. It was really great. We felt really good just strutting in our tuxes, and John went, "Hey, let's go into McDonald's. That's for a table for 3." And I thought that was a very good idea. We didn't do that. We got in. Now, it's quite sad, but we looked at all the names of all the famous people who were going there. I wanted to see Terry Wogan, because we were going to try and ask him about paintballing, Jonathan Ross, Russell Brand, and... Fine, right? And none of them were there. We're all quite disappointed. Then Simon Mayer, I was quite excited. Sam saw Namone and did a sort of quiet murmur to himself, which was a little bit weird. Yeah, exactly. Then he saw the words Ken and Bruce and did what can only be described as a little John jig. For the people at home, he just went, "Oh, look, Ken Bruce is here." Da, 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 da. He did a little jig. It was fantastic.
Well excited. I met Ken Bruce.
But that turned sour, as we'll find out later. We got very bored at the party, and we've got many stories about Ken Bruce.
But let's stress that Ken Bruce is not implicated in any negative way. He was one of the nicest men I've met.
No.
Because it's weird radio, isn't it? Because I basically went up to him and said, "We've never met, but I've been listening to you for a long time." Which, when you think about it, is quite a sinister thing to say to a man. But he was straight up out of his chair, in with a handshake, a little bit of chat. Lovely
That's
guy.
because you were so drunk at that stage that he was frightened, and he thought, like, this could be a fate here. I should get on my feet.
You cannot put bottles of port on tables, right? When I'm in the vicinity anyway. But the thing is, the port arrived at mingle time, so everyone was getting up and mingling. So there was not only a bottle of port on my table, there were unattended bottles of port on everyone's table.
That was when I was talking to Simon Mayo and you two disappeared.
Yeah, I went off.
Yeah, he was different when I got back. It's like that Ben Folds song, "You Are Not the Same." That's about a man who climbs up a tree and becomes a born-again Christian when he comes down from the tree at a party.
Very similar to my experience.
Very similar. John,
I climbed up Ken Bruce.
Wow, that is an amazing sentence to say it out loud. You climbed up Ken Bruce.
Yeah.
We met some famous... basically what happened, the gist of it was, we got a party, we were quite nervous, we're in tuxes. Johns was pushing on his Adam's apple, so every so often he just went, "Nyeh," and made an odd noise.
I said when we tried it on, I said, "That feels a little bit tight." And he said, "Well, you should only be able to get half a finger down it."
Yeah.
And then it was garrotting me.
Well, Sam had a bit of an incident.
Yeah, I was choking slowly.
And you didn't like yours,
pretty
but
nice.
at the other end, did you?
No, yeah, mine was really...
Oh, yeah.
grabbing hold of my gear. It was really awkward. Anyway, we should probably play some music. Actually, no, it's time for the news, isn't it?
Another minute.
Another minute. God, we've got to fill this. Sweet. I was
Let's
hoping...
talk about your struggle with your balls.
Let's not do that. No,
Okay.
no. I don't mind. I've got no pride.
Let's talk about the fact, interestingly enough, what happened in the afternoon is that I had to take you to buy a pair of shoes because, having already had the tux fitted and decided that we were going to the party, only at 3 o'clock in the afternoon did you say, "I'll be alright in trainers, won't I?" No, Russell, you really, really won't. You were actually going to wear trainers.
I was minutes away from convincing you to buy the things with the embroidery. They would have been magical.
Yeah,
Flatley shoes.
Trainers would have been fine.
No.
Well, it was.
Trainers with a tux
imagine-
in front of Ken Bruce.
Well,
He
yeah.
hates us anyway.
Well, you were dressed up really well, and he still thought you were a dick. So
I'm a dick, though.
Yeah, but well, no, you're not. You're a wonderful guy, and you don't need to take baths on your own. You don't need as much
I
solitary
do
time.
need to take baths on
you
my own.
don't. Just let us
Because
in
if I
there.
go out into the street and say, "Excuse me, I'm having a bath," anyone interested?
Yeah. Well, no, me and Sam, we were bored out of our minds.
You were swimming. I only had a bath
We were in a
because you went
steam room.
swimming.
He was
We
playing
could've-
dead near kids. I would have given my right arm to have been in that bath with you.
Well, you should have said something.
I was saying it with my eyes. Can you feel the sexual tension
I
in
thought
here
you were
this
having a
morning?
fit.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Sam has now got a big bottle of wine.
So I told him he better walk away.
It's and he's not even drinking it from a little glass. He just
This one's for the webcam.
nice. If you're looking, he's literally swinging it down. Oh, we've got an email here from Gary Williams.
Smells good.
Hi Russell, Gary Newman was indeed fantastic last night. I knew he was going to play the whole of his classic 1980 album Telecon, but hadn't expected him to recreate the opulent light shows of his early megastar career. Simply stunning. Fantastic. There you go. So we're talking about this party we went to. Now, you know when you're at a party with, because we were quite excited, weren't we? Let's be honest, we thought Wogan was going to be there, and we could go up to him and kind of go, "All right, Terry, get down on me face," and he was going to be quite sort of down to earth. Like a bit of a fighter, a bit of a brawler, because we thought it's like a bow tie deal. I personally thought there was going to be like a separate room you went through, and like Wogan and like Ken Bruce were like, you know, sort of orchestrating over like a big dog fight or something like that, something quite exciting, but none of that. So we got a bit bored, didn't we? After a while, we kind of went, well, there's Simon May, he's a lovely bloke. There's Stuart McCone, he's a nice guy. There's Michael Ball, I'm going nowhere near him. Mainly because, like, your instinct to protect your dad comes in whenever you see Ball. Did you two find that, right? Because my mum used to really fancy Michael Ball. So as soon as I meet him, I'm like, yeah, you try to split my mum and dad up. Like, in my head, like, I'm like an 8-year-old boy. You back off, Ball, you back off. So you can't really get to, because he's a threat to my dad. So there's this 8-year-old, there's my dad voice kind of going, just punch him in the nuts. But I didn't.
I had a similar voice. My mum, not a fan of Michael Ball.
Oh, really?
Probably would have urged me to do the same thing to Michael Ball for no good reason.
Yeah,
Hitting
exactly.
Michael Ball.
My dad's the same with Sally Bozeman.
Well, interesting you should say that, because what actually happened, there were loads of, like, name tags to tell you where to sit down. And we were on quite a cool table, weren't we? We were with it was really great. We were sort of sat around with all the Six Music crew, and like, everyone else looked like sort of surviving members of the hit film Cocoon. And we were sort of sat down the front, like, hey, look at us, we're young, we've got our limbs, we can move however we please, getting up, sitting down, moving around, shaking it all about. John in the corner with Port, telling everyone to leave him alone, they don't know him, that kind of stuff. Then Imran, who presents, what's the music Imran does? Music Week, which is on after the show. He came up to us. It was great. We hadn't met him before at this point. It was a wonderful way of introducing himself. Went, so you guys got going? And we're like, yeah. What of it? And he went, right, let's have a competition. Everyone put a $5 in. Who can get the most famous person's name tag from where they're sitting?
And frankly, he played us. He played us good.
Yeah, he already
Well,
knew.
no. But at that moment, I was like, yeah, I'll take your money. So we all put a $5 down. And, well, let's tell everyone what we got. Straight away, I got Trevor Locke. I got Steve Lamack. I got Pete Mitchell, I don't know who he is. I got Sally Bozeman, who is Traffic Sally. Lovely lady. Mark Radcliffe. And he's a
Hey, now
big
that I take credit for.
Yeah, Sam
I
popped that to me. It was lovely.
skulked in and
Yeah,
I
you
nailed
were giving him
Radcliffe good.
backhanders.
Yeah. Andrew Collins.
Little allegiance.
Andrew Collins as well, that little drunk monkey. He was doing my bidding as well. It's like, I said, oi,
It
Collins.
was you lot that got us in trouble.
But look what Collins got me. Collins got me Michael Ball. So basically, what you may have got listening at home, basically what happened was everyone got a little bit drunk and initially was being quite clever and kind of just nicking a name tag and then moving away very quickly like a thief in the night. After about an hour, I was pretty much lifting up plates, going, "You got any names? Who's got names?"
We
You were
turned
just
the evening into
wandering
top
around
trumps.
tables, hoovering them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Picking them up at points and then sighing and putting them back on the table
Yeah.
in front of the person whose name you didn't care about.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you? Really? At what? At what time? Oh, God, you can keep it, mate.
Really? And you just do, they get stuffed.
But again, I have to stress here, I asked for Ken's, I was going to say mouth to mouth, face to face. I asked for Ken's on a personal note.
What actually happened, John, is you said 3 hours before you did that, I'm going to go say hello to Ken Bruce. Then you didn't, and then I'm going to say hello to Ken Bruce. You didn't, and then when you went up to him, you went an absolute beeline for him, and I overheard you going, "I'd just like to say this: you got me through my university years."
I didn't say
You
that.
did
I didn't
that?
Say,
I
yeah,
heard you.
no, I didn't listen when I was at uni, because I wasn't at uni long enough. Sales. It was when I was working in sales. When I had nothing to do, I used to get to drive to Swansea for 8 o'clock in the morning to sell a product I hated. But I used to start early, so I could get very little done at 10:30 till 12, and then I'd have a 2-hour lunch, 12 till 2, while J-Vi was on. And then
he was
kick in
very-
again for Steve Wright, no offence, but I'd always do a few calls during Steve Wright, and then back in time for tea.